Hello, Evertonians. Welcome to Follow Everton. I'm the channel host and admin. Today, or should say this evening, I'm going to be reacting to new Everton CEO Angus Kinnear's first interview. And to do so, I'm going to be watching it live. I haven't watched it before. And I'm going to bring it up on the screen and we're going to kind of watch it together and react. Kevin, if you could do me a little favor, just because you've just made yourself aware of the air in the comments. Good evening. If you could check the microphone works, can you hear me? And also, can you hear this? Can you confirm for me in the comments if you could hear both me speaking and then just that little clip there that I had on in the background just before I go any further? Just don't want to be talking to myself. Can you hear me? Fabulous. Okay, let's watch this together then. Clip low, best I can do. I'll turn the mic volume up. Could you hear it at all? That should be a lot louder now, by the way.
Is also one of the most historic in the club's history. How have your first few days gone?
Well, it's been a wonderful time to join. I've had a really warm welcome from the staff, from the supporters groups that I've met, from David and the players. So it couldn't have gone better. But there's lots to be done, and it's a really exciting time.
As you say, you've joined at such an exciting time when you see the world-class new stadium, and we'll be moving into the ambition from our new owners, the Freaking Group, and the progress of both the men's and the women's teams. Was that a big draw for you for the club?
Yeah, I think there were three reasons why there was such appeal.
The money, probably the wage salary that we're paying him. He was at Leeds. He had a comfortable job. Leeds have just got promoted. Money, of course, his pay packet, and the project, of course, he'll say coming up now. But I don't dispute that the project is an exciting project. But money always talks with these sorts of things.
One is the club itself. You know, it's got such a fantastic history, such a rich heritage. It's got such a wonderful fan base and a wonderful city, and that makes it a very powerful proposition. But I think when you combine that with the new stadium, which I've seen in my past has been a real catalyst for positive change for the club at all levels, and including on the pitch, that makes it a unique proposition. And then when you add in the new ownership, I think it's really important that ownership see themselves as custodians of the football club. And in all my dealings with the Freaking family, they understand the principles of custodianship, and they are a good combination of pragmatic. They are very clear on what their initial objectives are, but they're also hugely ambitious as well. And that's what's
hugely ambitious. That's something that definitely I think is music to all of our ears.
It's something I wanted to be part of.
You mentioned about the club's fan base as well. You've worked in football for quite a long time as well, so you're well aware of.
Leeds United responsible for the clause in Jack Harrison's contract that allowed him to join Everton for no loan fee for the past 2 seasons. Thank you, Angus.
Just how passionate, how Evertonians just live and breathe the club.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful club. I've seen Everton away support at all the grounds I've been at. They're fabled as being one of the best in the country, and I think they proved that in my first game away at Fulham. It was great to see them celebrating the 3 goals. And then you know, I've got goosebumps sitting here at Goodison, a ground I've visited many times, a ground which I think is clearly important to Everton fans, but I think has a broader importance.
Everyone loves Goodison, and they're now keeping Goodison Park. It's going to be the home of the women's stadium. And I wonder how much influence Angus has had on that decision.
For football in this country, and I think it's great that we're going to be able to maintain the heritage of this great ground whilst moving on to one which can really fulfil our broader ambitions.
It's a busy first week for you, and I think it's fair to say it's going to be a busy summer ahead. So what are your priorities?
The first priority is always going to be football. We will always be football first. Ultimately, my job and the job of everyone at Everton is to make Evertonians proud. I know they're proud to belong to the club, and I want to make them proud, and we want to find reasons to make them proud. And that starts with what we do on the pitch. So football will always be the #1 priority. And I think David's done a wonderful job since he came in stabilising things and moving the team on. We know we have a really big summer ahead of us. There's a huge restructure to be done in terms of the squad. I think it's pretty unprecedented at Premier League level. Yeah. But I think David and I see
13 players out of contract next this summer, I should say, on the 30th of June. 30 players. What do you think in the background there? 30 players. You can see them in the background. watching with me. 13 players out of contract.
As an opportunity to take the team on to the next level, to build.
Ray pining for a new contract. He did an interview on Toffee TV yesterday. I saw it. I mean, when do you ever see a current player do an interview like that coming out of contract? I wonder whether Angus and him have had a meeting.
Done all his good work, and fundamentally to have a team which is looking up the table. And
just on the subject of football, then, could you talk us through the change in football structure and the key reasons behind that?
I think, in my experience, the best football structures are ones where you have individual experts leading the functions. I think there's been a move in recent years to a single director of football model, and that can be challenging. We're going to move to a broader, flatter structure where we have experts in data and analytics, in football operations, in recruitment and talent ID, and then.
But then, who makes the final decisions? Is it a case of collating all that information, all the data, the recruitment experts, the negotiators, all of that, and then who makes the final decision? Will that be David Moyes, or will that be Angus, or will that be the board collectively?
In player trading, some of those people have already come on board. There's going to be some more announcements over the next couple of weeks. Good. I've been delighted by the quality of individuals that we've been able to attract. I think when Everton fans see it, they're going to be really reassured that we've got, I think, a world-class football operations team in place who'll be there to support.
World class. It's a very bold statement to make, isn't it?
David, who we think is a world-class manager, and I think that combination bodes really well for next season.
You mentioned David Moyes, our manager there. He said already he's been in regular dialogue with you. How important is that going to be going forward, the two of you speaking often and keeping in regular communication?
Our relationship's critical. I think dialogue between the CEO and the manager is important. I think it's a key conduit to the relationship with the ownership.
If there's no sporting director, then the CEO then must become accountable for a lot more of the sporting director's past responsibility, even if some of them are diversified into individual.
Delighted that David Moyes is our manager. He not only does he understand the club, but he's proven how successful he can be. He also has a belief in the long term. It's interesting. The first meeting I had with him, rather than talking about the structure of the squad, the first thing we talked about was the academy, and his belief that part of the DNA of Everton was that we were developing homegrown players that would represent the first team. And I think it's rare now that you get a manager.
Yeah, really important. The academy has certainly stagnated in recent years. Anthony Gordon aside, we haven't produced many first-team quality players. I can't think of anyone since Ross Barkley, apart from Anthony Gordon,
who has such a holistic view of the club, of the full entity of the club. And we're very lucky to have David, on top of the fact that he's obviously a great first-team manager, as he's shown in the way he's turned the team around over the last half of the season.
And your first...
The fastest growing scam of 2025 is spreading like wildfire.
I actually pay for effing YouTube Premium, and it's not my account that I'm on, the YouTube Premium one. I do apologise.
It also happens to be one of the most important fixtures at Goodison in the club's history. We're here at this iconic venue. Then, so what will it mean for you to be part of that?
It's a wonderful time to join. I think it's going to be an emotional occasion for everyone here. I'm not an Everton fan, but I've stood on terraces with my father for all my life, and I know that.
Not an Everton fan, of course you're not. I wonder who you support. Let me guess, Arsenal.
There'll be many Evertonians, standing on this terrace.
From Angus, let's have a look. Probably a Man United fan. He held senior positions at Arsenal and West Ham, so. Let's have a look. He's a sporting director at Leeds. Before that, he was a sporting director at West Ham, head of marketing at Arsenal. It's an interesting job. London School of Economics. He went to.
So these is for the last time, but I think it's also a time for great positivity, because we're moving to a stadium that I've been at this morning, which is going to be truly world class. It's going to be one of the best in Europe. It's going to provide a platform for a world class team. It's going to provide revenue streams which are going to be able to help us fund that team. And so I think whilst the occasion this weekend will be definitely tinged with sadness, everybody should be seeing the opportunity of what our new stadium is going to bring to us.
And of course, it's not the end of Goodison, because this week we've announced that our women's team will be moving here. This will be their home from next season. So could you just explain the reasons behind that and the significance of the move here?
I think it's a fantastic move. I think it's bold. I think it's not without its risks and without its challenges. But that's what I want to be. I want to be a part of a club which pushes the boundaries and takes risks and embraces those types of challenges. And I think to be able to preserve the heritage of this wonderful ground and be the first team in the Premier League to effectively entrust a Premier League stadium with its women's team is a bold and brave move. But I think it's the type of move that really has the potential.
Well, they say it's not a Premier League stadium. That's why we're moving. But yeah, I get the point. It's obviously way over. You'd say overqualified, wouldn't you?
To unlock the women's game, not just for Everton, not just in the city of Liverpool, but nationally as well. And I think for Everton to effectively be operating 2 Premier League standard stadiums, one for the men and one for the women.
And then when we absolutely suck at Bramley Moor, inevitably, and the atmosphere's turgid, you'll have fans calling for us to go back to Goodison and send the women to Bramley Moor, Doc.
Really sets us apart and creates a fantastic platform for growth.
And do you think the move underlines how important the women's team and the women's game is to the Freaking Group as well, which is also shown by how they backed the manager Brian Sorensen in the January transfer window? That's been a key part of their progress in recent months.
Absolutely, it's always been a key part of their priorities. I think definitely at some clubs the women's team can be a bit of a footnote. It's not here. It's central to our growth plans. It's central to what we want to achieve at Everton. I think we also know it's a catalyst for positive social change to give young girls and women roots into the game. I'm very proud that they want to be bold in terms of their plans for the women's team, and I think the future is very bright.
And then just on Everton stadiums, you touched upon, just outline just how beneficial our move there to such an iconic stadium, a world-class stadium, can be to this club.
Yeah, I think now if you look at the clubs which are really competing at the top of the Premier League and the top levels of Europe, most of them have one thing in common, and that's they have a world-class stadium. And I think there's the benefits.
He loves using the word world class, doesn't he?
Twofold. One is definitely the revenue that stadium can generate, and we want to take that revenue that we're going to enjoy from more supporters coming to see the team, from more different types of events that we can host at the stadium. We want to take that money.
When you see the standing section and people are sat down like that, it doesn't half look very sterile.
Reinvested into the squad and create that virtuous cycle of more supporters, creating more on-pitch talent and better results. But I think also what I've seen is it can be a broader catalyst for change. It can raise the ambitions for the whole club, whether that's the men's team, the women's team, whether that's what Everton want to do in the community and continuing the fantastic work that Everton in the community do. All of those factors can be changed by going to a world-class stadium, and I think it will change our position in world football, and I think it will change the perception of players that want to join the club, and I think it will help in our recruitment efforts.
And finally,
basically saying the stadium is transformative in terms of recruiting new players.
The role of a football CEO, especially, is such a broad remit. So what are your ambitions for Everton?
Even though Goodison's been praised as one of the best stadiums in the country for what it is. So, and that doesn't bring players in, really.
I see the potential in everything that Everton is and everything that it can be, and I want to be aggressive in our ambitions. I think there's lots of case studies that we've seen recently of teams that I would see as smaller than Everton. Perhaps Nottingham Forest making a run on Europe, Crystal Palace getting to an FA Cup final. They're all things that should be in our ambitions for the medium term. Longer term, I think we can.
Absolutely, I love the fact that he said he wants to be aggressive. That means we're going to go at things with recruitment, with personnel in the recruitment team and statistics in the academy and the stadium and the Everton Women's Stadium and everything. Brilliant.
We can look beyond that. I think there's no reason why Everton can't challenge at the top table of European football. We have to be pragmatic. We have to be balanced. We have to be sensible in our decisions. We have to work in a structure where we're not worried about relegation, where we're not concerned by regulatory issues which have pinned the club back. We need to create a firm foundation that we can build on.
They cut it off at the end. Look, it does seem absolutely spot on what he's saying. He's saying all the right things, all the positive things about every aspect. So some of it was a little bit boring, but I do think it was a good interview. I can't fault him, and I'm really excited to see some things in action. First thing I'd like to see is sort some of these contracts out, announce who's leaving the club. I've said it and I've said it before. There isn't really anyone there apart from Charlie Alcaraz and Ghana that I would really be pushing for next season if we are looking to go to a high level. There are a couple of players in there I think could step up and improve with better players around them, like possibly Decore on the right wages. But other than that, I'm not 100% convinced. It all comes down to what direction we're going to do. We're going to play more of a rounded game, bit of possession football, be able to break teams down at home, be able to play on the counter-attack as well and have threat and pace and control games. Then we need to rip everything up. And it's a blessing that we've got 13 players leaving. But if it's going to be more of a gradual thing, I mean, David Moyes said it won't be outrageous recruitment this summer. But what's just below outrageous? Probably very good. So I think it's very exciting. Let's see what happens. I'd like to also see the sponsorship deals announced, the naming rights for the stadium, the next season shirt announced as well. That'd be good to see next season shirt as soon as the season finishes here. And I don't know, maybe get a couple of signings in early, end of May, start of June. Well, start of June would be great if possible. Have some names lined up. Guys, thanks for watching. We're back at 8 o'clock, so 1 hour's time. We've got Stevie and Yandelf doing a show talking about Goodison memories. Last night we had the wonderful Robbie and Wes back. They've told me they want to join back permanently, full time, back on the channel. So Robbie and Wes will be seeing more of them, and we love them, and we're so happy to see them back. So let us know if you're happy with that as well. I'm sure you are. But tonight, in 1 hour's time, we're going to have Stevie and Yandelf with yourselves, our wonderful Follow Everton members, talking about Goodison memories from their perspective. And we've been running Goodison farewell shows and nostalgia shows all week, so there's plenty to catch up on if you haven't seen them already. Rod Ross, sorry, pleased to hear that you're happy with Rob and Wes coming back. And we'll see you soon. If you haven't already subscribed, smash the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on. Please hit the like button, and if you're watching this back, leave your comments. We'll check them out. See you soon.